Good afternoon. I know it's after lunch. Let's try it again. Good afternoon. There you go. Good. Everybody got a ticket? Yes? Perfect. Then at the end of the session, we'll draw a tablet. If you don't have a ticket, just raise your hand and somebody will stop by. Yeah, please don't. No double dipping here, right? I'm 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗶𝗁𝗏. I'm responsible for the edge business globally at Lenovo. And, you know, Microsoft asks, Ed, what's your superpower, right, to each person? Then superpower for me is networking. People that know me, I think relationship is the secret to the success, right? The people you know and what you build on your network to open your horizon. Then we're going to talk about edge, but I have a question to all of you. Give me a definition of edge, another word, one word. What is edge? Doesn't need to be technical. What is edge?
Processing that is getting generated at
Processing, yeah, one word. I know I have an accent, but it's one word. Processing. What else? Local? Limit? User? Data. Say it again? Okay. On-prem. You guys, many of you got this is not right or wrong, but the closest one, the word I'm looking. Location, right? It's not a technology edge. Location of what? Data. Exactly. That where the data is being generated, right? And we always, I like to say when we talk about AI, I always say the future of AI is at the edge, because that's where the data is generated. We want to process with AI data as life is being created to be able to make the smart decisions based on the data, right? Then what we're trying to do here is instead, in the past, all data is being sent to the data center and takes time, and not always 100% of the data is there. But you send it to the data center because of the power of the compute the data center has. And with the edge now, what we did, we brought the power of the compute to the edge, right? To be able to process all this information for different reasons and different needs with the ultimate goal to solve the customer needs, right? And always there are different stories. I call it the story, right? The customer will tell the story, what they're looking to achieve to solve their problems or for the future to be prepared, and based on that to be able to process the data from its local creation. And remember, there's a lot of data that gets generated, and it's impossible today to send it all to the data center to be processed. Then we created what we call edge servers with the same power of processing to be able to do it at the edge. Two trends at the edge. First one, consolidation, right? There are multiple devices today on the edge, and think of the edge like a location. Then we'll give an example, right? Stores, Walmart, all those thousands of sites, or hospital, emergency rooms, smart cities. That everything, you have a lot of devices, you can concentrate all now into one, right? And to be able to be more efficient and process it faster and analyze and predict what will be the next steps for that specific site, location. And the next one, the acceleration, where AI comes to play, right? Today you need to, basically you're feeding the models with the data, with what is happening on each of the locations, and then you can take a smart decision based on that, which is critical for the business. You have basically the predictive analytics, right? The human behavior, the machine learning. All this can be now executed independently on each location. And after that, of course, you can send it to the cloud, you can send it to the data center, do whatever you need to do. But you can execute and make the right decision at the edge. Then we're going to have I'm going to give you a couple examples how our customers today are utilizing that. And the last part, we're going to have a guest, one of our customers, from Australia, Viva Energy, that will share the experience and why they are moving to the next level at the edge. The first one, Formula One. How many of you guys are racing fan of Formula One? I know one person came to me and said that. Perfect. Then you're going to see the story how we are the official technologies partner from Formula One, Lenovo, and how they utilize it and what they do. And we'll talk a little bit about that. Sound? Sound? Hello? Yeah. Sound, sound? That part? Any questions in the meantime? Does it make sense about the edge, where the data is created, right? Think about your cell phone, right? This is your edge. Most of all your apps are like AI. You feed, you get data, and you get feedback.
We're absolutely no net cost. All you
I guess we are hearing some sound. Ready? Perfect. Thank you.
F1's the pinnacle of motorsport. It's the most thrilling motorsport there is out there.
It's all about energy, innovation, technology, excitement.
Formula One is the most data-rich sport anywhere on the planet. Through the use of Lenovo technology, we'd like to bring the fans much closer to the action and to the sport.
As a company, we're constantly pushing, we're constantly looking on how we can grow, how we can expand, how we can be better. Lenovo being our partner helps us to achieve that.
Lenovo is very much a one-stop shop for us, which is fantastic. We not only get amazing technology, but also access to some of the best techies and expertise to help us build solutions. We've got to make 1,000,001 moving pieces synchronized and all come together in perfect harmony, and Lenovo helps bring that together for us. The race day for us, you can feel the tension building throughout the day. You can feel it from the technical operations people, the teams themselves, out into the grandstands.
The partnership with Lenovo is helping us be more efficient and effective across our whole organisation. Formula One's always on the edge of innovation, with the cars, with the fans, with our products, with the data, with the video, with the audio. Broadcast is key to what we do.
Thank you very much, everyone. Wonderful car.
The broadcast team has to process multiple camera feeds. You're talking around 26 track cameras, plus special cameras, onboard cameras, 360s. And that can be quite challenging at times. So a Lenovo infrastructure is the backbone of that platform. From a purely hardware and technical perspective, they deliver and respond every time. We have to have kit that travels globally around the world, so sometimes we are shaking that kit with high vibrations, it's frozen, it's cooked on a tarmac, and then we ask for that kit to work every time when we turn up.
Lenovo technology is at the heart of our race operations, whether that's back in our server rooms, in our RTC and ETC, whether that's Motorola handset. It really is what enables us as a business to connect with absolutely everyone.
We produce around 500 terabytes of media each event.
So that content comes off the car in real time to our facilities back in the UK to service our fans. Data like the G-force the driver's hitting around a corner, the steering angle, the brake, how much he's pushing the throttle.
Things like the driver's point of view, the helmet cam, those give people an absolutely new focus of Formula One you've never seen before, so just gives an incredible insight to the sport. At F1, we have goals, we have vision, where we want to go, and Lenovo can help us achieve it, and even better, they can help push us even further. One of the great things about a partnership with Lenovo is that sustainability initiatives are right at the heart of what we want to do. We're utilising Lenovo's asset recovery service, which means that we know that our hardware is going to help charities, help communities, or is being sustainably recycled.
The technology choices we make have to integrate into 100% reliable and repeatable solutions.
F1 and Lenovo share a quest for perfection. They help us understand what the art of the possible is, and together we build that.
Then think about, right? You can build from the mobility to a data center, to the edge. They have 2 full sets of a data center that wherever there's a race, if it's in the US, in Austin, and the next race in Mexico, the second data center is already being shipped and built there on the fly, all to be able to process the data. On the data center, with all the car information, the fuel, similar thing with the NASCAR, right? Data is on the pit stops, they have to calculate, and who is familiar with the racing, speed is the essence of the time to win on that. And that's just one example on that. Then when we talk, what are the unique requirements from the edge? Everybody been on the data center? Yes? A couple examples. Then what's the first thing you notice on a data center when you get in? Cold. Perfect. Then why? Because you're required to control the temperature, right, of the servers. What's the next thing you notice after the code? Loud. Perfect. Those are the 2 things. I love you guys. This is perfect. The sound, right? Now, if you think about, wow, I'm going to put a server now at my edge, at my location. This is now open to the public. It could be behind the countertop or the office of the manager. How can I have a system that can handle the temperature and all that? Then the edge servers were built. They're ruggedized in a way that support extreme temperatures from low to high-end temperatures. Dust, humidity. You will see a case about 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗶𝗁𝗂, the largest tuna fishing company in Latin America, how they utilize edge on a boat. You think edge on a boat, and we'll talk why we have edge. They install edge in the boat. An edge server. Sustainability, right, and the connectivity. Then it's all protected. And security, the second thing, it's hard to get in a data center. You have all the security badges, face recognition. Those systems are built with extreme security. At the moment they are moved from its location, even touch and vibration, the system locks itself. And that's the beauty of the edge servers. Then the second one about the temperature, we can show the temperature to see, but how about the sound, right? Check this out.
Does your edge server sound like this? Life can be noisy. Your edge devices shouldn't be. Lenovo outperforms the competition in noise reduction. Built for performance, quiet by design.
And how our engineering took a couple of years to develop that, right? To reduce the sound from 80 plus decibels to around 40 decibels. We implemented the blueprint of smart cities in Barcelona, Spain. And when they were implemented on the streets, people were walking, waiting on the light, the green light. They were hearing all this noise coming from the box. They thought maybe something's going to explode or we catch on fire. And that's how we developed it to our all line, the server edge line, to be able to have no sound or to reduce dramatically on that. And we're talking about some systems that you can have from a client, a smaller device, to an edge server that you can run 64 cores, 6 GPUs. And we all know the temperatures and also how noisy that can be. Another insight, right, on the manufacturing, safety. It takes one person or one employee to get hurt, then there's a lawsuit, then how you can manage and prevent. It's all about which solution, which AI would you like to implement that is needed for that. Then if you look on this, when you do, and we have manufacturing customers that did implement it, it did reduce around 30% or more the chances for incidents, right? Warning of threats. We have in oil rigs cameras that monitor safety when preventing, when maybe a fire is to start, right to start, to be able to send a notification to the security, to the safety team. Different ways, different business, different verticals, but with the ultimate goal to be able to analyze on the spot the actions that are happening to be able to prevent or to improve the business. Another one that this one I think it's fantastic about, it's protecting the biodiversity, right? This is a solution from Trifork based in Europe, or which was deployed in the Nordic countries now, how to prevent the invasive species. And this is a unique way to see how we can utilize the edge on a mobility.
What is one of the primary causes of biodiversity loss in the natural environment? Invasive plant species. They carry pests and diseases, compete for essential space, light, and nutrients, and are difficult to control or eradicate. So, how do we counter this threat to our native ecosystems? The Nordic Road Directorate, a partnership between the road authorities of Denmark, Sweden, Iceland, Norway, Finland, and the Faroe Islands, needed an answer. With regular airflow and disturbed soil, the nation's roadsides were the target, but manual methods weren't scalable enough with too much ground to cover. AI offered exciting possibilities, but required robust, powerful infrastructure. Enter the Lenovo 𝗦𝗽𝗀𝗳𝗶𝗿𝗄 platform, making Trifork's plans possible. They designed and developed an automated system combining high-resolution cameras with a state-of-the-art AI application, easily identifying invasive plants on the roadside, mapping their spread, and enabling immediate protective measures. All made possible by the Lenovo 𝗦𝗽𝗀𝗳𝗶𝗿𝗄 platform. The ideal combination of performance and toughness, it supported the analysis of thousands of miles of road, effectively monitoring invasive plant species, safeguarding biodiversity and the natural environment. Lenovo's emerging technologies, strong enough and smart enough to protect our planet.
One of the key solutions here, right? If you need to do this manually, you need the human and the person has the knowledge to know what to look for, right? The efficiency here and the speed to be able to take actions, it was critical on that. Then with the Trifork solution, with their AI solution to be able to monitor, analyze, flag, send the data to the headquarters, it changed dramatically how they can take actions much, much faster on that. And the next one, I will show you this, it's a quick video and talk about the fishing, right? Edge servers on a boat.
We fish more than 75,000 tons per year. We are the largest fleet in Latin America, which is why efficiency is the most important thing. Tuna fishing is a complicated process. You have to be locating, chasing, and capturing it. A tuna never sleeps. We wanted to get away from precarious processes, such as the spreadsheets that were used, and that is why we chose Lenovo. Lenovo Edge servers are so compact that they fit into the small deck of a ship. And they are tough enough to withstand sea conditions. Thanks to Lenovo, we can process thousands of records in real time that help the company's decision-making. Our fleet is better coordinated than ever.
Then, any idea, anyone that could think, why would they implement an edge solution on their boats? Navigation. What else? What else? Patterns, exactly, right? All of those are right. Then their biggest challenge was when they go to sea and to fish the tuna, they have to prep on the pier when they arrive back. They had to have the max capacity also of ice, max capacity of trucks to be able to take to the market, because they would not know how much tuna each of those boats will come loaded. But there was another thing that was a big challenge for them. In Mexico, if they fish a specific, there's several types of different fish that they bring in, and they're not supposed to, they have a standard penalty of $100,000 per boat. Then what they did is putting the edge server on the boat with the cameras, with the AI solution that when the net comes back on board, they'll be able to flag if there is any other fish other than tuna, and right away, through their mobile devices, flag where they see that it's not a tuna. Take it out, put it back on the sea. Second, amount of tuna, the size of the tuna, what is the weight that is expected to be. It's sent directly, the analysis, to the pier. Now they know how much ice they will need, how many trucks, and be more efficient, right? Efficient on the cost, efficient on to be able to load and take it away to the market. And that's the unique. Then even I say it's on the now fishing business, is the same for any other type of business when you look at that, right? I'm gonna give you an example, quick question on that on math to visualize, right? Think about any supermarket or any business similar, Target, Walmart and stuff. Everybody heard about the loss prevention, right? People that gets and how you calculate on this to be able to prevent from people stealing from the stores. Then there's all analysis with AI that can be preventive to be able to be monitor of the human behavior. How many of you went to a supermarket to buy milk, ever? I would assume everybody. Where is the milk located? In the back. Why? Exactly. And how many times you got home and my wife tells me, Alan, I asked for milk and you brought me all this, but not the milk, you forgot. It's all about, and this was built 50, 60 years ago, right, with the mentality to where to put. Then when you go to Walmart, you have the island of products sitting in front of specific aisles, and they move every week. Why? Because there are specific analysis that they do with the edge and AI that they see, but on aisle 3 and 7, we don't sell that much. People don't go through. Then they move the products that sell the most, always in different locations, to promote the business. This is all done with AI, with specific applications that will do the analysis for you and help you define how you can improve the customer experience. Then Lenovo has what we call a group of AI innovators that all the AI that we work with, they're signed up. Think about like a partner program, and we add more and more. Then there are different solutions that we call them the independent software developers. They develop different solutions on AI that can be run on different sites and different needs on the business. And basically, they come to the program, and we'll be able to support, depending on the needs of the customer and the vertical of the business, to be able to provide a solution on that. And with the whole picture on this, between the AI innovators, the Lenovo services that we have, with our portfolio, right? The hardware behind, we have from small clients to edge servers. It all depends. It's irrelevant for me to present and what hardware we're going to use. The point is to understand what is your need, what is your pain, what is the solution that you're looking for, and the hardware is just a consequence on that to be able to solve that solution. And if you have multiple sites, we have customers with 15,000 sites. How you deploy that, right? Normally what we do, each one get a hardware, you send your technician, or you have a system integrator that goes there, which is great to help. But at the same time, we have our, what we call the LOCA, right? The open cloud automation, that you can deploy images on the fly. You have a local employee on your site, flag, authenticate, plug the machine, and then the system will be uploaded. it's a full life cycle of the data, right? From the planning to the retirement of the data and the infrastructure, that it's all being based together between Lenovo, the partners that we have, and the customer. Let me introduce you now, meet the panel. I will bring Amanda Fleming from 𝗦𝗲𝗂𝗧 and Cosmos Darwin from Microsoft. Would you be happy to join? Yeah, come on board. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, folks.
Then now we're going to have fun, right? They all think they know what questions I'm going to ask, but I'm going to ask different questions on that. How about that? There you go.
We were fooled.
There you go. Yes. Then, Amanda,
Yes.
let's start with you.
Okay.
Please give us an overview of 𝗦𝗲𝗂𝗧. Let's educate them a little bit. But before you do that, I'm going to even help. I told her maybe I would do that or not. Let's make sure to understand who is 𝗦𝗲𝗂𝗧, right? We'll give you guys a minute to understand and visualize.
OTR offers customers a world-class convenience experience. It has disrupted the fuels business by creating a one-stop, true convenience destination that makes life easy. Here, customers are guests. OTR promises to welcome you, to never run out, and to never close. OTR stores set the benchmark for quality and aesthetics, with an occasion-led offer that caters to customer needs at every part of the day. OTR implements leading technology, including the proprietary OTR app, which provides a seamless experience and generates valuable insights. QR codes allow customers to pay at the pump and offer the chance to win discounts or even a free tank of fuel. Customers can pre-order coffee through the app to their particular taste, made by trained baristas and ready on arrival, in-store or drive-through. Additional on-site services create more occasions to visit and are easy to use through the OTR app. Customers can visit spacious quick-service restaurants for a meal with friends. They're operated by OTR staff and integrated with the convenience offering. Feedback shared by customers as they exit the store is reviewed every day to ensure the best possible experience.
Perfect. Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Cool. Then give us an overview of 𝗦𝗲𝗂𝗧
Okay.
and what it does.
All right. Well, this slide pretty much says it all. But first of all, thank you for having me. It's so amazing to be here, and to my team in Australia, thanks for tuning in. So 𝗦𝗲𝗂𝗧 started as a downstream oil and gas business as part of Shell Australia. We've subsequently, well, if you think about we still refine in Australia, so we're one of 2 refineries left in Australia. We provide about 25% of Australia's liquid fuels. We operate critical infrastructure, so think about, we have about 20 fuel import terminals, 60 airports and airfields. Some of our major customers are the biggest mining industries in Australia, and we're also the sole provider of liquid fuels for the Australian Defence Force. So we're a very complex business. In about March 2022, we actually acquired Coles Express, which is one of the largest convenience and fuel retailers in Australia, and a few months later, we also announced the acquisition of the OTR Group. So that actually now makes us the largest convenience and fuel retailer in Australia. In terms of trajectory and growth, it's really diversified our business, and we're pretty excited about the growth journey, but incredible transformation in front of us.
Perfect. Then what are the key challenges 𝗦𝗲𝗂𝗧 faced during this transformation?
Well, I mean, given we're at a tech conference, I think we'll probably just talk about that. So in terms of people, though, I will share a little bit of a snippet of the people. So we've gone from 1,500 team members to over 15,000 in the matter of months. So that just kind of gives you a perspective of the scale. The challenges from an IT perspective is it's essentially we're standing up simultaneously and running stores, a full ERP, so finance, operation, inventory, a full HRIS to cover so human resource information system for those 15,000 team members. Gosh, POS, new POS, and all the hardware in store. So we inherited about 21,000 technology assets, 8,000 of those were out of life, and all of our back office systems are all being replaced. So if you think about that sort of scale of transformation, we're doing it all at the same time, and we're doing it in about a 9-month time frame. So it's an extraordinary transformation from a tech perspective, and also we've got to keep our stores running at the same time, and we all know, I don't know if anyone's in retail, how challenging that can be at the best of times, but just an incredible amount of work and a lot to do.
Perfect. Then Cosmos, what has been like working with Lenovo with Azure Stack HCI?
Yeah, I would say from the Microsoft perspective, we're thrilled to be partnered both with Lenovo and with 𝗦𝗲 and Amanda and her team. It's been really impressive to watch. She mentioned a little bit how quickly they're moving. They're actually one of the fastest deployments we've ever seen of our distributed infrastructure stack. So the team has gone from, I think, maybe a single pilot deployment to now over 200 that are deployed in production across different locations, and that's in a matter of a couple of months. I mean, it's been staggering, and I think it's only possible because you've really embraced all of the more innovative aspects of how this technology can be operated and deployed, and so all of the deployments are fully templatized. They're all provisioned through the Azure control plane using the latest version of Azure Local, formerly Azure Stack HCI. And there are a couple of global firsts, actually, that really stood out to us from a technology perspective. So one of them is every store is actually just operating a single node,
yes.
Right? You're keeping it really lean, very efficient, and I believe it's using the ThinkEdge SE350 platform, which is like that very rugged and small form factor, which is, I think, a good fit for your scenario. It's also hanging off of just like 1 gig Ethernet, right? Because there's a very real network constraint in each of the stores. And both of those were novel sort of firsts for us as we saw this technology roll out. And I believe you're going past the 200 that I've seen already to, what, 500 locations or so?
Yeah, well, I mean, we need to be standalone in 3 months' time with 670 stores, all done.
That is going to take some automation.
Yes.
It's been really impressive to watch.
Absolutely. Just to add, that's not part of the question, but you mentioned, right? You're not doing per phase the implementation on the whole transformation. You're going full blown every store. Can you detail a little bit about that? How are you doing that?
Yeah, so
it's unique.
It is very unique. So one of the things that we're relying on is about 4 or 5 trusted partners. Of course, these are part of my trusted partner group. Lab3 is our system integrator when it comes to the stores. But essentially, we have a warehouse. We are putting it all together in a warehouse. We're putting all the technology together, and then it just gets deployed to the store, and then the team go in and set it up all in the store. So it's all cloud first. It's all edge. And what's really important for me in the design of what we've done is that every store, as you can imagine, do we have some retailers here? Every store, their back of the store is very different. And so what we were relying on is hardware that could go in that wouldn't require store modification. So this needed to go into every store format that we could across our network. So that was really critical for us. And then the other bit is the silence of, the Lenovo box is just incredibly silent. It's obviously sustainable. So all those things are really important for us as an organisation. And the team have absolutely loved it. So just some really, really unique things as part of the deployment that we've done.
Then can you tell us, why did you choose Microsoft to run on Lenovo?
Oh, gosh. Look, I think that for us, clearly we were using the Microsoft suite of products, so the ERP, D365 and MPOS, and then the cloud-first technology. So everything is cloud-first. So all our stores are cloud-first, and that was the benefit of having like a greenfield situation, is that we could actually take the best of the technology, digital first as well, digital native if you like, cloud first, but also scalable and fit for the future. So we're investing all this money as an organisation. So one of the things that was going to be really critical is that it will be fit for the future, making that sort of investment. So I think that the innovation, the partnership has been what's been crucial in us being able to deploy what we have, and being fit for future. I think that's been the secret sauce.
Fantastic. And Cosmos, Microsoft made a lot of announcements about Azure Local, right? And with the roadmap that is coming up, can you help us understand what's the future coming to us?
Yeah, so we've been talking a lot so far at Ignite, and we're going to continue to do so. We have more sessions later today and tomorrow as well, talking about our adoptive cloud approach and how with Azure, we're really thinking not so much about Azure as a place, but Azure as a collection of services and tools that can be used anywhere, whether that's in one of our cloud regions or in your own distributed locations with Azure Local. So Azure Stack HCI, some of you may be familiar with, is now part of Azure Local, but there's a lot more there as well. Azure Local runs on smaller form factor devices that are great for scenarios like this. We've also made a number of other announcements this week, including migration tools. For those of you who may have an investment in VMware by Broadcom, you can migrate from there to Azure Local. We've also introduced a new option for disconnected operations and a number of new services that are available on Azure Local, including Azure IoT Operations, as well as some of Azure's AI services, like Local AI Search, which is, allows you to run small and large language models on Azure Local with retrieval augmented generation. So there's been a whole lot of news. We have more sessions over the course of the event to talk about that more. And I think it's really an exciting time for distributed infrastructure and for this kind of hybrid challenge that I know so many organizations are facing.
And I think for us, can I just jump
Absolutely.
on that? Because I think what was really important in the design of what we did is we wanted to have that real-time analytics at the store. So we're talking about edge. You know, we wanted it at the store, and for us then that enables us to bring AI and other technologies to play when we think about the customer's journey when they come into a store. So you saw a bit about our app. We try and engage customers before they actually go to one of our stores. But when they're in the store, we want to see how they behave, what they value when they're in the store. So we can start and then connecting our other, IoT stuff to that, and which is just an extraordinary competitive advantage, because there's no other retailer in Australia that has this technology in their stores. And as you said, some global firsts. So that having that analytics and that processing capability at the store level is just extraordinary. It's extraordinarily innovative.
And to complement on that, right, with the team we're working together, one of the key factors, right, is the form factor. If you look at the servers normally in a data center, they're big, heavy. This one is totally different. It's a whole new technology, which is the form factor can be adaptable anywhere. If you stop at the booth, you'll see them. The silence, right, the ruggedness on that, and the power that can be performed. If you think about it, you can come up to 64 cores, 6 GPUs, right? It's among us, and if you try to carry that on your hand, you can those. It's a little heavy, but you can. The data center servers, you can't. And that's amazing, incredible.
And even from a security perspective, can I build on that? Because that was really important, because we're critical infrastructure. We service the Defence Force in Australia, so you can imagine our cyber posture is really, really important. If someone went into one of our backer stores and took, because they're very mobile, right? So they're this big, and so if someone went in and grabbed one of these devices, it automatically stops. Yeah, so there's no chance that they can then take it away and start looking at our data or anything like that. So from a security perspective, that was also critical for us. So another, I think, innovative approach of this technology.
Fantastic. Then to close it up, what most excites you, Amanda?
Oh, wow. I mean, I'd love to ask people in the audience. I know we're going to have some time for questions, what excites them. I think for me, it's what we talked a moment ago, is that at the moment we're getting this analytics, and we'll get this analytics at the store, but then how can we connect that and really understand what our customers are going to value in store, look at their behaviour analytics, so where they move when they're in a store. So have we got our right merchandising in store? What's our digital app doing? We've got some world first applications of our digital app, even before McDonald's. So we can learn a lot that we can actually start engaging with our customers before they even get on their journey. So I think that's what I'm most excited about.
Awesome. We're excited too. It's a lot of, right, we evolve and the technology now moves so fast, right? There's no way we were talking about this. In the past, we used to say, what's your plan in the next 3 to 5 years as a hardware, right, provider to come. It's very hard now to plan 5 years from now when the technology changes that fast. Then we have a couple of minutes for questions from you guys. Anyone that would like, come to the microphone. You can yell your question.
Please do.
Before
My team in Australia
we
are
do
counting
this.
on it.
Yes, there is a whole
Can someone
streaming
tell me what
live
they're excited
the
about?
Australian team listening to this.
And while we're waiting for someone to ask a question, can I just, I get the privilege of doing this on behalf of my team from Australia, and I know they've all tuned in, so I just kind of want to thank them as well. But please.
And I feel like we should thank you, Amanda, for flying all this way.
Absolutely. Short flight.
I don't know if anyone here is from farther than Australia, but
it's about 24 hours it's taken me to get here.
Any questions?
Please.
Were we that clear on the message? There are no questions? That's good.
Can someone tell me what they're excited about? Someone. We've got, aren't you giving this away? Or
Are we
can I
giving
give
this
that
away?
away? It's the first person that comes and tells me what they're excited about.
About anything, don't think about the edge, right? What are you excited about the new technology, about the new things that Microsoft is bringing up to us to help to be able to process and to be? Go ahead.
Yeah, so how is the technology affecting interactions between your staff and your clients, like customer relations and customer satisfaction?
Yeah, it's a great question. So obviously the back of store systems, they have less connectivity to, but because we're replacing all the POS in stores, so that was out of life, and we had real issues transacting. So one of the other things that's really important for us is we have remote truck stops, for example, that can actually get cut off by floodwaters or lose internet connectivity, and because we're such an important in providing fuel and convenience to those local communities, one of the things that was also important in our design is that they could stay connected to the store, so hence cloud first, because we can trade offline, so and still provide fuel to those local communities. So from that perspective, that was really important. And so the team members are loving the new technology. So they're liking the speed, they're loving, we've got new, iPads and what do you call those? Anyway, I've forgotten what it is. I must be jet lagged. But yeah, actually, the team members love it, and the customers are giving us great feedback on the speed, because we'd also have internet outages, given Australia's so big and a lot of rural places, we'd just lose connectivity. So now we don't need, that's not a problem with us being cloud first. So.
Can I build on that? One of the things that I
Yes.
think is so interesting about 𝗦𝗲 is they're kind of facing two different sets of constraints at the same time. On the one hand, they're a retailer that is interfacing directly with end customers, and so they have to hold themselves to an extremely high standard of user interaction, right? When you walk into the store, how slick is it to get your coffee? On the other hand, they're one of the largest, maybe the largest gas station chain in Australia.
Largest, yeah.
And so that's regulated in a really serious way because it's critical infrastructure, as she described. And so they're trying to sort of solve these two sets of constraints at once. And the fact that they've been able to move this quickly and deploy this much technology in just a matter of months, I find staggering.
And you can imagine our technology in our refinery, which you can see a picture of there. I mean, this is crude oil coming in and being manufactured into liquid fuels. So it's a very volatile, unsafe product. So we run that as a digital twin as well. So we're sort of blessed having come from Shell, because we've had that innovative investment in technology. But yeah, so we're sort of a technology-first company. Or people first, we should say, and then technology.
Absolutely. And one thing that really marked me is when they talk about, and this I heard in Australia, the customer is treated as a guest, not as a customer, which is the experience, right? Think about you driving, you do road trips with the family. You can go on the app, you schedule, you need coffee, you're gonna stop to put fuel and you want coffee, you put all this on the app. By the time it tracks when you arrive, it's like a Starbucks, like a mobile app, ready for you from the time you arrive. It's unique, right? The customer experience, that's unique, of which I think that most of the businesses are trying to move ahead to be able to, on the cutting edge.
I think there was one other question. Yeah, go ahead.
One question, I see that you seem to be in the refinery business as well. And,
yes.
My company is in the manufacturing space. Are you looking at Stack HCI also for local infrastructure, compute needs at the OT layer manufacturing?
Yeah. A little bit more. I mean, one of the requirements in Australia as being critical infrastructure is we have to have a footprint in data centres. So it's a little bit more complicated from that perspective, and because we're also the sole distributor of liquid fuels for the Australian Defence Force, we have to meet some certain criteria of theirs as well. So it's a little, I can't share a lot about what we're doing in that space, but we are doing some pretty innovative things there as well. Thank you for the question.
Perfect. We're running out of time. What we'll do, we're going to draw a number. Hopefully, whoever is going to win this. But
oh, I thought I was giving it away to the person who asked that. Oh, Ellen.
We have to follow the rules. It's not me.
Oh, we have to follow
but what
the
I would
rules.
like is, absolutely. Then what I would like to do, here you go.
All right.
Let's go.
I hope it's the gentleman that asked the first question. Okay, I can't read that. I don't have my glasses.
Okay. Do you need glasses?
I can
probably
read
does.
it.
You can read it good. Go ahead.
All right, 270-8854.
Oh, hopefully.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, very close.
Person who asked was Jason.
Very close.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Well done.
So, how about you come on stage? We take a picture together.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, safety.
In the meantime, thanks for coming, everybody. We really
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's take a picture.